What's up YouTube, this is Roy from ThirdDuelist, and today I have with me Alex again, and he's going to do his Melodious deck. So, let's get started.
Alright, Melodious. Super awesome deck. Has a lot of answers to pretty much everything. But we'll just jump right into the deck profile. Start off with the monsters. I play 2 Mozarta, Big Boss, because you want her, so you can special summon your Melodious from hand. I run 1 Chopina. Chopina, solid at 1, but once the new support comes out where it's a level 4 that does the same thing, probably cut Chopina. But as of now, it's really solid because you can keep the cycle going. When your Melodious go to the grave, you can just target one of them and put it back into your hand. From there we have pretty much the main engine of the deck. I'm just going to go ahead and put them both out there. Elegy and Aria. If you can get these 2 special summon on the field, you have, it's not a perfect lock because then they'd be banned, but this lock is really hard to deal with. You can't target any Melodious monsters with a card effect. They can't be destroyed by battle, and they can't be destroyed by card effect. That's disgusting. Then we play 2 Serenades. Serenade's good for tribute fodder, just because she can be used as 2, and you want to try to get into your Mozarta fairly fast, so you can special summon from your hand. 1 Cannon. I want to say that Serenade and Cannon are fairly interchangeable because you're special summoning from the hand when you have a Melodious, so that you have 2 on a field, so that you contribute for your big level 7 and 8. Or you run this where it's used as 2. So having this at 2 and this at 1 so far has worked out really solidly for me. I run 2 Sonatas. Sonata is really solid when you special summon them. Special summon her, you get a 500 attack and defense boost to all of your fairy types, not just Melodious. And you can transmodify with this, and you can get the start of your Aria lock on the field. Because once you get Aria special summon on the field, you can just stall until you get the rest of your lock. To add on to the locks, we have 2 copies of Majesty's Fiend. This card is so freaking awesome. So broken, man. Monster effects can't be activated. Any of them. That a lot of people get confused and they think that it's just face up. No, anywhere. Deck, graveyard, banished, top of the roof, in the bathroom, whatever, man. You can't activate them. 2 Honest because, I mean, it's an entire deck of lights. Why not? Tech choice of mine, 2 Herald of Orange Lights. It's really solid because it's a tuner, and I can get into big beat 6 like Leo, or if I want to get into level 6s, level 5s. I just have a lot of options with this, and because I usually have a fairy in hand, it's in my opinion a little bit better than breakthrough skill in this deck, just because it's a hand trap, and that's why I put it in there. That's the monster lineup. We are now running this card, 3 First Movement Solo. Really solid card because you control no monsters. You can special summon 1 level 4 or lower Melodious from your hand or deck, and you always want to go, well, not always, I guess depending on the situation, but more times than not you're going to go for Aria so you can start your lock. So really this deck is all about getting that lock, and then hopefully you have Honest in hand, and then you can just attack over their big guys. I run 2 Transmodify. 3's kind of cloggy because you don't want to see this too much. I mean, it's solid to be able to special summon any of the Melodious monsters, but 2 is perfect. And then I run 2 Upstarts, Straw Power, 2 Monarch Stormforth. Monarch Stormforth is solid when I have one of my boss monsters or Majesty's Fiend in hand, and your opponent has field presence and you have nothing to activate Monarch Stormforth. Use one of their monsters, get one of yours out. I run MST and Night Beam, just 1 copy of each. I really like Night Beam. It doesn't always work out, but when it works, it really ruins days when you activate Night Beam and then they can't chain to their set. which is really good. And then for one of Soul Charge and Raigeki. Soul Charge because you want to be able to special summon from the grave, because if you can special summon your Melodious from the grave, as long as you can special summon them and get them on the field, you're going to have some solid field presence, and Raigeki is Raigeki. Run 2 Deep Prison for traps. For one ofs Bottomless, Compulse, Solemn, Call of the Haunted, Trap Stun, and Wiretap. These are all pretty self-explanatory, I feel like, except for the Call of the Haunted. I only run 1 Call of the Haunted. A, because I'm not relying on my monsters ever being in the grave that much. So 1 is pretty nice. I may test it out at 2, but as of now, 1 is nice. Having Soul Charge and Call of the Haunted to fall back on is really good, because with that lock, if you can get that lock early game, really, you're not going to have a lot of monsters in the grave, so having a Call of the Haunted and Soul Charge is almost dead. So you really want to run a lot of, I guess, graveyard special summoning traps. And then the Trap Stun and the Wiretap, because I don't like traps, man. Going into the extra deck, start off with the Synchros. Leo, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Leo is awesome, man. Anytime you can make Leo, you should definitely try to play Leo. Yazi, because Yazi is the same as Leo, but it's easier to make. I just need either a 5 and a 2. Well, actually, it's only like make 5 and a 2. And yeah, Yazi, if I ever get the chance to make Yazi, I do. It can't be targeted. For my 6s, I run Goyo and HT Sehemoth. Goyo, because when I get this on the field, I guess if I have another tuner in my hand, I can destroy your monster, hopefully either draw into my tuner or already have my tuner next turn, and then use your monster for my Synchros, which is solid. And HT Sehemoth just gets rid of problems because it banishes. And for final Synchro, Armides, because it's Armides. It's really awesome. For my Exes, I run Abyss Dweller, Carnagorn, or Carnagorn. How do you Carnagorgon? Sure, if someone wants to correct me on that in the comments, go ahead. But yeah, just for rank 4s, really you're not going into the extra deck a ton. The only time you're ever going to the extra deck is when you can't get the lock off. But for those instances, we have Castel, obviously because Castel is one of the best rank 4s. Dark Rebellion, Exes Dragon, for the big problems. Because this deck really doesn't have a lot of high attack, so if you can Exes this, that's usually pretty solid, because then you have a beater on the field. No Melodious are really beaters. I mean, there's a 2600 8-star, but she's not great, Mozarta, as far as attack. But back to the Exes. Evil Swarm Exciton Knight, because it's Evil Swarm Exciton Knight, blows the whole field up. Black Ship of Corn, really helpful. 80 for those problems, the high attack problems, and I can banish something in your grave. These are all just in cases, because like I said before, you're really not getting into the extra deck too much. 2 101 Sharks, because it's 101, and Starleash Paladynamo, because I run all light monsters and I can make him, so why not? Like I said, you're really not getting into the extra deck a ton, and if you are, it is usually because you need to get over something. So you're usually trying to get into Leo or something that can help you stall, because this deck is really built around stalling, maintaining control. It's a really fun deck. It's kind of slow as far as like the duels, because the duels can be really lengthy with this deck, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's a really fun deck. Try it out. I am still testing with this deck, so if you have any comments on what I could change to it, put that in the comment section.
Alright, that is it for the deck profile. If you are interested in any of the questions I have to ask him, you can stay tuned. If not, thanks for watching. Alright, so the first question is, what made you decide to pick up the deck?
Honestly, once I read Aria's effect, I wanted to look into that more, and they all have pretty solid effects, but it's mainly Elegy and Aria are the reason that I got into playing Melodious, because I've never played a lock deck, and this deck really locks, I don't want to say it locks your opponent down, but it forces them, I guess, to try to figure out how to deal with it, because the only way you can really deal with it, honestly, I don't know too many ways of dealing with it. You can't, once you have Elegy in defense and Aria in defense, if you're just playing a defensive one, you're trying to stall out until you get your cards. If you have these in defense and they're both special summon, your opponent really can't do anything. They can attack all they want, but nothing's going to happen to them. And that's what really made me want to play this deck, is just these two cards alone. And, I mean, they're chicks. So I guess it's different to see not an aggressive girl deck, I guess, but it's just cool to see play styles like this, and that's the reason I picked this deck up.
Alright, in your testing of the deck, what has been your best matchup and what has been your worst matchup?
Honestly, there really isn't a matchup for this, because, well, I mean, unless like someone plays something with like Light Imprisoning Mirror, that would ruin my day. I just can't do anything. But no, so far everything that I've played hasn't really been able to deal with the lock. It's just they beat me only because I can't get the lock off. If I can get the lock off, I usually either win or I usually just win, because once you get that lock, your opponent can't do anything. If your opponent can't do anything, solid. And to make matters even worse, if you can get Majesty's Fiend on the field with that Elegy and Aria lock, yeah, your opponent's shut down. They can't activate effects and they can't destroy any of your monsters. That's solid, man. But yeah, like I said earlier, not too many bad matchups. Just an overall good control deck, I guess.
If you like the content that you just saw, you can click over here on all these other links and check out the rest of our channel.
And if you liked our stuff, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and tell us what you thought in the comments below.